So you're live. Hello, everybody. Come on in the room. We want to see your hellos. Where are you joining us from? We want to see you. Welcome to the room. Welcome to the room. So, as you see today, I have my amazing husband, Derek Jackson, here with me in the room. So, we are excited to be here with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the recording because we know this is going to be some great stuff for everybody, right?
For everybody.
For everybody, for
Wow.
everybody. Okay, so thank you for joining. Can y'all drop a hello? Hello, Anissa. Thank you for joining. Can y'all drop a hello in the chat so we can see you if you're on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are joining us from? Drop a hello in the chat. We're so happy to be with y'all today. We're so happy to be with y'all today. So, we are going to be doing something together today because marriage is near and dear to our heart. It's near and dear to it has always been. Like when I was in high school, marriage was near and dear to my heart. Like I remember when we first got married, I was like, Derek, let's go help couples and let's do marriage stuff. And he was like, well, we just got married. And I was like, but still, I'm ready. So now we're 20 years in married, 27 years of knowing each other. Hi, Bridget. Thanks for joining. Hi, Shanika. Thanks for joining. Hi, Dr. Lee. So, Derek, can you introduce yourself to people? Most of these people see me on live often, but like people may see me, but they may not know the power and the strength behind what supports me, what uplifts me, what keeps me grounded, what helps me not overdo things sometimes, in a loving and gentle way. So, um, yeah, but let me tell you one thing, and then Derek's going to introduce himself. Okay, so when I was like 18, I was at home one day in the kitchen before I went to college, right? And my dad was like, Bridget, he was like, Tavia, one thing I can tell you is you better not marry a weak man because it's gonna be terrible. And basically, like you're gonna run him ragged, right? That's what my dad said, Greg Khalil. That's what my dad said. And so a few years ago, no, like last year, I was laughing and joking with my dad. And I was like, well, Dad, I did it. I definitely did not marry a weak man. I married a man who was an amazing balance, a person who could cover me, who could see my strengths and continue to nurture me. So I want to introduce to you all Mr. Derek Jackson. So can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Where you from, what you like to do, who you are?
Get me right, John. Get me right. Get me right for the people. So I am Derek Jackson. A lot of folks know me as D Jax. I am this woman's husband, and I'm so happy. Isn't she look good tonight? I'm like, why are we on this live? Let's go on a date. Come on now, let's go. But but this is my boo. This is my wifey boo thing, and I am honored to to be sitting next to her and sharing something. We've been peopling all day, y'all. We've been peopling with the peoples all day long. So it might get a little fun. It might get a little fun in here because
It's always fun.
it's always fun.
It's always fun.
But so I'm from the Washington D.C. area originally. I have I had a 20 plus year career in financial services. Prior to that, I worked in counterterrorism in the Washington D.C. area. A lot of stuff I would love to tell you about, but I'd have to kill you. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. We're just getting to know each other. And I was a musician and an artist and done a lot of things, and I still do a lot of things. I wear different hats, a lot of it to make what we do go, because it is a concentrated effort to make the things that we do go. Not necessarily more work, but concentrated effort. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to be with you guys tonight. I see the folks jumping in the chat and everything. This is my first, well, not my first live, but one of my first lives with Miss Tavia Jacks. So y'all be nice to me now. She does this all the time. This is her bread and her butter. But if you want to drop in the chat real quick where you are chiming in from, where you're tuning in from, so we can know who we're talking to and where you are, we would love to hear that information as well, as we're streaming to the people, to the wonderful people of the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, also as we're talking, if you have questions, we want to hear them. Okay, I see Williamsburg, Virginia. You know where that is?
You know where that is. That's Busch Gardens.
Busch Gardens.
Busch Gardens and Great Wolf Lodge.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So if you guys have questions while we're here, marriage questions, hit us with them. All right. Okay, I see Mint Hill as well. Let me make sure who I can see my YouTube people. YouTube, I want to see you as well. Where are y'all coming in from? All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So for us, as a married couple, it is really important for us to be multiplying what we're doing, multiplying what we're building, and able to survive and thrive while we are doing that. So there are a lot of things that I know some people that are like, "But I could never be in business with my spouse." So there are a lot of different things we get to see, a lot of different things that we get to live out.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, "Man, how do you do this? How does this work for you?" Da 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 da. Da. That person said, "Yes, sir, at work as we speak." Yes. Okay, so how do we do this and what does it look like? So you can be married, but there's a difference between being married and multiplying what you're doing and your money and your reach and your growth, and being married and just maintaining. There's a difference. And one of the things we know is that you have to be intentional. Intentionality is key in all of these things. So, really quick, we're going to tell y'all how we met, and then we're going to get into some marriage multiplier stuff. So, Derek, would you like to tell them how we met, or do you want me to tell them how we met?
You could tell it and then I clean it up. If I need to clean it up, I clean it up. But you can go ahead and get started.
Okay,
You
got
know,
it.
you know the story.
I see Anissa said agreed about maintaining. Okay, so we met as high school seniors. We went to visit Elon University on the same weekend. It was Black Awareness Weekend because Elon was 97% white. Right. And so they have you at that time, you could go and stay with the student and, just learn about the school and spend time with them. So on the last day, when my parents came to pick me up, there was a choir concert. And the student that I stayed with, Miss Angie, she played the bass guitar. And so she had to go early to the choir concert. So I went early too. And I was just sitting in the auditorium waiting for them to finish rehearsal and for the concert to start. Derek's person, Donnell, also was in the ensemble and he had to come early too. So you got these two people in the auditorium, the only people in the seats, this huge auditorium at Elon. Everybody else there is on stage. So he comes over and says, "Can I sit here?" And I'm like, "Sure, absolutely." Y'all, we had so much in common.
Yeah. Oh, much.
That it was just like, wow. And at that time, we exchanged AOL email addresses. One, I didn't have a phone, but two, AOL was the best way to reach me. And so, 7 years to the date after that, we got married. At first, we were just friends. Then we became best friends, and then we got married. Anything?
I don't have to clean it up. That was good.
All
She did a
right.
good job. Your girl did a good job.
So let's talk about can we talk about something first? I want to talk about powerhouse women in business and being a husband.
Okay.
And I'm not tooting my own horn.
Toot it. Toot it. Oh,
But can we talk about, are there some women on this live that you're a powerhouse? You know you're a world changer. And guess what? If you're a husband on this live, a man on this live, and you know that you're a world changer as well, we want to hear from you too. So, I'm a Marine, y'all. One time I was telling Derek something. So this isn't our first toot. Deacon to Lisa, that's so funny. So, y'all, we built a business together before this. And I remember one day I wanted Derek to take care and handle things in the business. once they got complicated, I was like, hey, I don't want to deal with this stressful part. Like, I expect you to take over here. And and so that day it was me, Derek, and our mentors, which was another couple. And I said to my mentors, I'm a delicate flower. He already laughing. I said to our mentors, I'm a delicate flower, like a delicate rose. And when these things are stressful and strenuous, and you have to like chase down people at times to do things, I would like him to take over. And Derek was shocked. He was shocked. Why were you shocked?
Clutched my pearls, y'all. I clutched them.
He was shocked because he was like, you still in the Marine Corps, like you shoot people, like you're an expert on the rifle. What do you mean you're a delicate flower? Tell him about it.
So, so this is the same young lady that in college she would come home from all sorts of military trainings, and we sitting on the couch on the futon watching a movie, and she would sneak up behind me and put some sort of a grappling wrestle move on me, and it would hurt, like legit hurt, because I wasn't ready for it. And I would let out a noise that signified that it hurt, right? You know, that noise. And so this is the same lady that said she was a delicate flower. Delicate how? How are you delicate right now? Like you are a hard charging devil dog marine. Like, tell me more. Tell me more. So I was caught off guard. I clutched my pearls.
He was shocked,
Clutched my pearls.
right? Spiritual man. His spiritual man is hollering over here. Derek was shocked when I told him I was delicate flower. Like he almost, if he would have been drinking something, he would have spit it out. Like, right? Right? That come on, D. Come on, D. Help the people. She said, but when I'm with my husband, I'm absolutely a delicate flower. You get it, girl. You get it. You get it.
A little patootie.
Right? You get it. And so the thing about it is that he knows that I'm also multifaceted.
Yeah.
He knows that I this is my safe place. This is the place where I want to be the most in my divine feminine. So for us, that was something that I had to communicate and be okay with. And at first, it was shocking to him. Mind you, we were in our 20s at that time. It was shocking to him. But now, like, he's embraced the dichotomy of this woman can go command a room. This woman shoots rifles. This woman can run at the same speed as certain guys in boot camp. But this woman still wants me to protect her and to be a delicate flower around me. But can you share as a man, like, what is it like for you in your role with me being like who I am, and for other women who are out there and other husbands, like what is it like to see a woman that's a powerhouse but still be that safe place and home and let her be the delicate flower?
Sure. So I knew the roles of provider and protector. I knew those, but I had to change some of the connotation on how it applied to my life. So I was a provider, but not necessarily in the space of like a breadwinner. You know, I make money. You know, your boy stacks paper, but more like providing ample space for her to be her authentic self. So providing space for her to communicate her feelings, providing space for her to think. Sometimes you just gotta think. Um, Providing and sometimes that looks like domestic duties or taking the kids somewhere. We got three of them. We got three of them. We're outnumbered. There are more children outside this room than people in this room. We are outnumbered. So it may be a provision of peace
Mm.
to be able to provide that space so that she can navigate who she is. Um, Protection, I knew protection, but not necessarily like I'm going out and fighting bad guys. But I do need to protect her energy. There's a lot of drainers out there, a lot of drainers. And so being able to safeguard and leave her margin to be able to be in her flow, being herself. So I would
Hmm.
say that. So those were like two things: providing, protecting, but changing how I viewed provision and protection.
Hmm. Awesome. And Anissa said providing space to think is real. Absolutely. And awesome, awesome, awesome. Space to be fully who you are is a godsend. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so some of those things are important. So there's a statistic that shows that relationships and having joyful and success in your relationships drastically impacts the ability to earn money and to increase your income. And it shows that people that have stressful and negative relationships have a much lower capacity to increase their income. And so, yes, we can have besties and friends that love us to death, but the very person that's closest to you, and being that a spouse, is also a key person in the ability to create income and increase your income in your life. So that's why one of the emails said, is your relationship slowing you down? And that's not to turn and blame another person. We all have equal ownership to become our best self. Yeah. Even if you're in a marriage and you're like, man, I'm not feeling this, I'm not liking X, Y, and Z, I guarantee you, because I'm a coach and I've seen it, I guarantee you, if you do certain work, you can come work with me. But if you do certain work on yourself, the stimuli that is creating the results that you have been creating will totally change and things will be different. Things will be different. Okay, so let's talk about multiplication versus subtraction. What are some things, and I'll give one and I'd love for you to share one, okay, but what are some things that you think help us move towards being in a marriage that helps us thrive individually and collectively? Like, what do you think helps us be successful as a couple and in business? What helps us be successful as a couple and in business? So for me, I feel like one of the things that helps us be successful as a couple and in business, hi Christina, thank you for joining, is that we are in the same atmospheres for growth. So like Sonia and Annette, we are both getting information that I don't have to go back and relate to him only information that I heard. We may have been in the same place and I'm like, man, that was really good. So we both have made a public and private decision to invest in ourselves and in our growth so that we can continue to grow us as individuals, our marriage, and our thought process. And we're both getting the information together. That is church, yes. That is coaching, yes. Yeah. That are certain mentors of ours, absolutely. Like even some of my mentors that only work with women, like, you know, he be, he get a call. He like, oh, that was good. Like, and so, there are certain scenarios. Um, God bless you. Thank you, spiritual mammon. There are certain areas where it is just women that I may be in, but we have multiple areas where we are both getting information that is changing our life and helping us to evolve. So I feel like one of the biggest things that helps couples multiply instead of going towards subtraction and helps couples stay together, grow together, and be successful in life and business is being in the same atmospheres to grow their relationship and to grow their money and to grow their businesses. So that's one for me. Mm-hmm. So for you, what do you feel is something that's really important for couples?
So one of the biggest multipliers, just from over the years, has been the choice to invest in ourselves, like individually. So as you grew yourself, it's like, oh, okay, well, we can't let the growth gap get too big. Let me go ahead and so we read together. We read books together. We went to conferences together. We did all those things together. Um, from so another big multiplier for me was changing how I viewed marriage.
Let's hear it.
Because you go from viewing other marriages as an unmarried person, and you can see the highs, the lows, the ebbs, the flows. You can see all those things in someone else. But when you get married and you're on the inside looking out, you don't necessarily see the same things. Like you gave the example before, you can't even see your nose on your own face. You're gonna need some help. So um, being able to change the vantage point to look at marriage like my investment portfolio, if that's not too businessy for folks, but what am I investing into the marriage itself? Because if it's a marriage rooted in purpose, then all of the little webs and all of the things that touches has to be connected to purpose.
Mhm.
And so we established, long ago, we're not gonna just be some, fuddy-duddy roommates, in twin beds looking at each other from across the room, like, yeah, we still together. Um, we wanted to be living epistles and examples for what Christ is to the church.
Right.
And so if we're gonna be examples of what Christ is to the church, then one, we gotta be Christ-like. And we have to see opportunities where we can grow and do things together and mature together.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's right.
yeah.
I love that. So supportive partnerships can grow your income. Supportive partnerships can grow your income. So thank you so much for sharing that. So I've been around a lot of couples and they're like, man, we wanted to dream together. We wanted to plan together, but we're busy. We tired. We got kids. Like we have 3 kids. Y'all, last year we had one in high school, middle school, and elementary school. It was like, who's getting on the bus? Which bus did they get on? What teacher is emailing
Where
us?
are they? Where are they?
What is happening right now? You know, so we understand, but for us, we prioritize our growth and we prioritize being in the same places to grow. And we made it a priority because that rat race, it's not going to stop unless we intentionally stop it. And I knew that I didn't want to grow my kids up to a place where they go to college and me not know my spouse.
Yeah.
I didn't want us to be, and I used to tell, Anissa said, no fuddy duddies. I used to tell Derek because he has been diligent reading, like we've owned multiple businesses, and he'd be reading all these business books. And one day I said, because I was like, we can read all these business books and have an amazing business, but if we don't know each other and have a deep bond and a deep intimacy communication, it will all be for naught when you get to the end and feel like you're successful.
Yeah.
This thing will feel successful, but this relationship won't. And so we made a decision that it was important for us to invest in our marriage, to learn your partner's love language and pour love into them in their love language. I grew up where you only say thank you where it was kind of like really needed,
Yeah.
like not to necessarily praise the things that were given. Like I wouldn't normally tell somebody thanks for taking out the trash. To me, if that was their role, then that's what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, you did what you're supposed to.
Uh-huh. So I learned early on what my husband's love language was, and even if it was a responsibility that I thought was a given, it still was beneficial to say, "Man, thank you for that. Thank you for your consistency." You know what? You could have forgot. Dawn said, "Amen, my sister and brother." Like there's so many things that could happen, but loving your spouse and their love language is really, really important too. So that is a marriage multiplier, Christina. It's definitely a marriage multiplier for us. Is knowing your spouse's love language, knowing yours, and loving them in theirs. Loving them in theirs. Would you want to say
I
anything?
would say, because I was thinking about multipliers versus subtractors. So subtraction is complaining, condemning, and comparing. Those are huge subtractors. Huge subtractors. Um, but a multiplier, this is one that wasn't super obvious to me, but when we're talking about still Christ to the church, a multiplier is grace.
Mm.
Like when you can invest grace into a relationship, and it's going to look a lot of different ways for what the relationship is, but remember they didn't have to do anything to earn the grace. If it's a Christ to the church relationship, right? It's not about acts, it's about relationship. And just because
Mhm.
we're in relationship, I'm going to give you the grace to grow. I'm going to give you the grace to change. The grace to change is huge. You don't have to be the same person you were 10 years ago. There is permission and space to become something else, and I'm gonna grow with you through that, and I'm gonna communicate with you through that, so I know who you are when you get there, and we're not like, who are you now?
That part. I want to hear y'all's questions too. Drop your questions in the chat. If you have questions about being married and and being in business, drop your questions in the chat. Okay. So another thing that we wanted to touch on for us, and y'all, I know that this may not be the average person, right? But we have come to the conclusion that there is no lack. And we are both understanding that we live in God's abundant universe. And so money in marriage is really important. Like there's a divorce, money is a high reason for many divorces and not money in general. Let me be specific. Lack of money. It's not, oh, we got so much money, let's get a divorce. No. It's the lack of money because of the financial stress and strain that it puts on a person. Mm-hmm. But the ironic thing is if those two people would create a common vision and utilize that to let that drive their discipline and their habits to create a life they absolutely love, there would be more marriages staying together. We have a couple that did a testimonial, and it's on my Facebook page. But when they came to me, they both are in my coaching group. When they came to me, they were on the brink of divorce. Mm-hmm. We didn't even focus specifically like on, oh, your marriage is in this place. No, I taught them common concepts and they both did the work together. And now, I mean, every time I'm on the phone with them on the Zoom, honey, they are just giggling and just as giddy can be. And they're so happy. They're making more money than they've ever made. They had a blended family now. And before there was animosity, now everybody's getting along and being together. Like there is so much power in the union and in the unity as well. So I know for us, let's talk about money.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
So I'm going to tell y'all something that is probably going to be shocking, especially if you're over 45. So when it comes to money and things that are connected to my dream and my vision, which ultimately is our dream and our vision, I don't ask for permission. I have clearance. So what does that mean? It's like I know him and he knows me. He knows that I am a very, very logical thinker. He knows that I'm a planner. He knows that my best interest is towards the house and that I want us to win and that I'm building alongside of him. And so I meet so many women who are like, oh, I don't want to invest in myself because it's taking money away from my household. And so they're asking their husbands, can I? Can I invest in myself? Can I pour into me? Can I? Now, when you say it like that, why would it feel right for him to say no? Like it doesn't even feel right to say no. Because us, I know we're go-getters. Like we would be like, absolutely, and I will figure out how to make sure you can invest in yourself. We would say, yes, you can, and I will figure out how to make sure that you can get what you need because I believe in you. But for us, that is one of the things that we flow in. Like most of the time, I'll text him like I've done a $40,000 purchase and been like, "Hey, babe, I enrolled in this and I strongly believe in it." And matter of fact, would you mind if we use your 401k because I want to pay it off early? And he was like, "Guess what he said? What did you say?"
Of course. So the cool part about that, because it wasn't about the amount of money, it was about like the trust I have in your decision making and the trust you like the you have a track record of good decisions. Mm. And you don't become successful by necessarily chasing opportunities, but more so living out your values every day. And you live out your values every day. If you live out your values every day, then you're going to be successful. So a lot of times, because I talk to God, he talks to me, he'll let me know that the question is coming before it comes. And he didn't already told me go ahead and say yes. Don't even think about it. Don't get in your analytical mind. This is her calling. This is her purpose. This is where I want her to be. And we gonna do this. So by the time she'll even get it all the way out. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. What you need? Yeah, swipe it.
Yeah.
Swipe it, girl.
My trainer Sayandi is here. Hello, hello, hello. She was one of the people that was like, I can't remember, it was just a few months ago, but she was like, hey, I see you guys like doing lives and doing things and helping couples and speaking life and doing events and stuff like that. So I honor you, woman of God. Thank you for popping in today as well. So Derek, for you, what would you say to other men who I'm gonna say that one, when their wife is asking them for like to be able to invest in themselves, what would you say to that man?
So I would say to that man to create a forum for discussion prior to the question coming about an investment, figure out where she really wants to be. First, make sure she really wants to be with you. No, I'm just playing. Figure out where she really wants to grow to because she was entrusted to you by the Father. And so you will be held accountable for your stewardship over that gift. So if it's a gift, then I have to be, we talked about multipliers, I have to be a multiplier to do that. And so,
Mm,
I grew up, got my good education, got my good job, but I had learned to be as a male, not necessarily a man, as a male, a window shopper. That means you don't really have to invest. You just look from a distance and stuff like that. And that'd be nice someday but be a window shopper as opposed to being an investor or a farmer.
mm.
Because a farmer understands things in an entirely different agricultural paradigm where that seed's gonna get planted, but who knows when it's gonna grow? Who knows when it's gonna grow? So you have to be patient in the growing season, right? But voracious in the seeds that you plant. So to that guy, I would say start a forum where seeds can be planted as far as compassionate conversations, courageous conversations, so that the 411 happens before any 911 happens. So I love it.
Thank you, Derek. Somebody said in the chat, said, please say a prayer that this kind of love finds me, and we shall, and so it is, be it unto you, this or something greater. This or something greater. So thank you so much for sharing that. So Derek talked about being a farmer. So I remember one day in our marriage, we were talking about some different things, and he came and he told me that, the Lord let him know that it is his job to grow me. Like, and I don't mean like, hey, are you growing? But like if I was a flower, to make sure that I'm receiving the nourishment that's needed, to water, to add sunlight, that he was going to be accountable for God when God would come to him and say, what did you do with what I gave you? Did you multiply it? Did you help her flourish? Did you help her become all that she was called to be? And I think I appreciated that so much because that was like 15 years ago that you literally told me that you knew that it was your responsibility to be a good gardener. Um, over my life and over who I was, and that you knew that there was an accountability that God was going to say, yeah, you had a wife, but how did you add to her? How did you help her flourish? How did you help her grow so you can like lift her back up to God? And so I know a lot of women are like, oh, I'll birth a millionaire. And absolutely, that's what we do. Like I knew, that was my thing too. Like, yes, Lord, I thank you, Lord God, that if you don't feel like a person is where they are, you have the birthing power to birth it in them. Absolutely. But also for him to have a similar experience, to know that he was going to be held accountable to say, did you help this woman that I gave you became everything that I called her to be, and to birth everything that I put on the inside of her? And that's why I respect men so much, that even when their wives may come to them and say, I want to do this, and they'll say, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I will figure it out. And so that's really, really, really beautiful. So if anybody have any questions on the chat, feel free to drop your questions in the chat as well. If it's love, if it's marriage, if it's being married and in business. Let's You got something you want to say?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say, so that didn't happen overnight. So we talked about reading together, growing together, praying together. One of the startling realizations was that I didn't have the right tools to build a marriage.
Whew. Wait, what?
I didn't have the right tools to build a marriage.
What was in your toolbox?
I had a hammer. I had a
Uh-oh.
hammer. And when you have a hammer, everything looked like a nail. So I was an athlete. I had started my first business. I was 14 years old. Well, probably younger than that, but my first one, I was like gained notoriety and I was recognized with media and stuff like that. Was 14 years old. So I knew how to compete,
Mm.
but having the right tools, farming tools, I realized that I didn't need to compete with you if I was to compete for you. And that's a whole different paradigm shift that I'll go take on the world for this girl. So she's in my phone as Miss Universe, um, because it's you and I verse. It don't matter who it is, we winning. Whoever is over there don't want us to do what we doing, they lose. Period. So, we fight for each other.
Oh, you got you kissed.
Oh, cool.
Thank you. That was beautiful. I appreciate it. Okay, so um do you guys have any questions? So it's really important in your marriage that you're focused. It's important that you build a dream and a vision together, that you both really know what it looks like when everything all works out. Matter of fact, 2 years ago, was it now? Maybe 18 months ago. So at first I was only coaching women. And one day I was about to have an in-person masterclass in Charlotte. And I said, Derek, I really feel like the Lord wants me to help some men too. I said, what are your thoughts? And he said, oh, I already knew that was going to happen. I'm here for it. And I said, hey, Corey, thank you for joining. Thank you, the Daily Special. He's so awesome. Thanks for joining. And hey, Joseph and Reese, thanks for joining. And so he literally was talking to me. What was I just talking about? I'm saying all my greetings to everybody. What was I talking about?
Um, I don't know. It was good. You start.
Somebody drop it in the
You
chat.
was getting started, and I started looking at the names. I was like, "Oh, look, hey, I know them
We're
too.
so excited to see y'all.
I
We're
know
like,
y'all
oh,
too."
hey, so and so. Oh, hey, so and so.
Greeting all my members and friends.
Who's a good listener? Yes, thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Bridget. Okay, so coaching then. And so and so that day I opened it up and I said, hey, if you're a couple, you can do this thing together. And I did a special couples discount. That was like something you couldn't miss. Thank you, Christina. You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. Right? Something that an offer they couldn't refuse. And so that was the first time that I opened it up to couples. And the impact of watching those couples' lives, money, and businesses change was incredible. There was one person that was in my very first couples group, and she just got a brand new job that added like 40K to her income. And she said she went back and looked at her journal from when we were coaching, and all the things that she wrote down that she wanted in her next opportunity was exactly what she got.
Beautiful.
Exactly what she got. And her husband, when he was in coaching, I had a survey and asked people like, what were their thoughts? How did they grow? And he said, man, I realized that I was being so surface with my family. And now we have such a deeper and intimate relationship with my family, with my kids, with so many people. And the finances began to shift and change Derek and I, there are mornings where we wake up. So if some of my coaching clients know, but we do what we're grateful for together, what we're proud of, and then we either journal or say out loud what life would be like 3 years from now when everything all worked out. Like whatever you would dream of, like the most amazing way that your life could be 3 years from now, and we speak it out loud. Every time we do that, that same day, so many powerful things happen in our lives. I mean, one day we talked about like business doing X, Y, and Z. And that very same day, somebody walked up to us and was like, hey, I have a connection for you to do X, Y, and Z. I'll shoot you the list. And I'm like, we just visualized about that this morning. the powerful connection of a couple. Hey, Ashley, thank you so much for joining. And Travis and Dawn. Dawn said, this is my first time on your live. Love your conversation. The sky's the limit with the Lord. That part. And so for us, we have watched couples just grow massively being in an environment together. But I also said that to say tomorrow I'm having a Dare to Dream masterclass. Right. And guess what? It's not just for women. I love seeing couples there, whether you're dating, whether you're engaged, whether you're married, and even if you're single, but you have a business partner, there is nothing like getting information that will transform your life all at the same time. But for us, so we've had tragedy, we've had drama, we've had like Derek is my best friend. And there were times where when we were dating, I would be like, so from a boyfriend's perspective, I'm not talking to you at all. But since you're my best friend, let me tell you what happened in my day. There are times when we would be at church and people would be like, why do y'all talk to each other so much? Like y'all came here. It's like, well, we having a great time. We love each other. And there's so many funny things that are happening in the world. Hello, somebody. Yeah. But the question is, are you multiplying your relationship? Are you being a multiplier? So Derek talked about being a gardener as being a multiplier and being able to present your wife back to God to say, I added value. Yeah. This is how you gave her to me. And I was able to help do this, and this for her according to your will and to your plan as well, and how important that is. But if you have a question about marriage, if you have a question about being entrepreneurs, we happen to have a business together, and then we have a business that's like kind of together, not together. So it doesn't matter if you and your spouse do two different businesses. Yeah. You still own a business, and it's still you are both entrepreneurs, right? Or you and your significant other, and things like that. So we talked about I don't have to ask permission. I have clearance. We talked about knowing that we live in God's abundant universe, and so we don't live in a place of lack. And that's lack in every area. We talked about things that help you stay in multiplication is being in the same atmospheres for growth in your relationships and in your money and in your dream and vision at the same time. Yeah. Good plug. Come to Dare to Dream together to keep doing that. We talked about I thought about the multiplier. Yeah.
I thought of another multiplier. Okay, so and that's going to turn into a question for you because this is going to be good. All right, so another multiplier is gentleness. So I said grace. Another one is gentleness. And Tavia showed me and modeled for me what that was. Because you got to understand, this is a New York born, you know, she cut that mouth.
Apparently, I could cut with my words, is what he's trying to
say. Yeah. So, what switch flipped? What book did you read? Because you are a hard charger and you get the thing done and you're task focused and you're a leader of men and women. Where did gentleness come in the application of our marriage?
Yeah. So it was easy for me to be gentle with other people. Like that was it was just who I am. But yeah, he was trying to be delicate, Fran. Yes. Okay, so for me, this is what happened. Now I grew up around my mom was very gentle, loving, peaceful. But my grandmother on my father's side was a firecracker, like for real, for real.
Got a weapon in the purse.
And so was my great grandmother. Even though she was kind and loving, she was still like really potent. And my dad was too. So I picked that up. And I had sisters. So me and my sisters, we would say stuff to each other and we would be talking and be fine in 2 minutes. Like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, you just said this mean thing to me. Life is over. It was over to us because it was over. It already happened and it was gone. And so when we were in a relationship and dating and stuff, I thought that was fine too. And it actually was funny to me, the things that I would say to Derek that would make him upset. Like I would be like, I cannot believe that he is so upset right now. Like it was a foreign concept to me. And so one day, y'all, I was at his apartment and hi Janelle. I was at his apartment, Adonis and Jessa. And I think he said, like, I can't take it anymore. This is over. And whatever I was doing, I stopped everything that I was doing. And like this question mark came over my face, like, what do you mean? Like everything stopped. Like I was like so curious, like, why would you say that? And he was like, your mouth. And I was like, I was genuinely interested and curious. And I said to him, is it really that bad? And he said, yes. And I was like, well, me and my sisters talk to each other like this, and it's fine, and it doesn't bother us, and we're fine, and we don't have no hard feelings. How long have we been together now? We've been married for 20 years, and we've known each other for 27 years. And I was like, and they're fine. We don't have no issues whatsoever. And he was like, I can't take it. And so I remember I went and stood by the door, and I was like, what should I do? Because he just told me this relationship was over. And I didn't even think it was
unplug it, wind up the cord, turn off the light.
And I didn't even know it was that bad, right? Ashley's laughing. Is it really that bad? and and so I was like, I said, okay, I apologize. I did not know that it really bothered you that much, and I did not know that it was that bad. I said, so I will make the necessary adjustment. And so I started to pray about it. And I literally prayed about it. And it was like before, when I would get upset, it felt like fire literally inside of my body coming out of my mouth. And so one day I got upset about something and I said like 3 words to him. And then I realized that even though I said those words out of routine, the fire that used to put those words out there was gone. Then I was like, oh, I don't even have the desire to do what I used to do and say the words that I used to say that would cut so deeply. Like it was gone.
That's good.
And so then I knew that it was just on me to establish the new pattern in my brain so that my brain knew that the go-to was gentleness. So we were talking about women. How do you establish a pattern of gentleness? So one, you can ask God to help you and to take the fire out of some of those things when you want to spew, like oh my gosh, like and say all the things. Yeah. Like you don't have to do that anymore. You're in a safe place and you're with somebody who wants to hear your voice and who will make the necessary adjustments. So why? It's not even needed. It's not even required. Put the guns away. They're right. Christina said the power of prayer. So you get to put the guns away. So this was the thing that God explained to me because I remember trying hard prior to that, and it seemed like it didn't work for me to become calmer or not so boisterous or vocally aggressive. So this is what the Lord showed me, and it's psychology. You know, if you walk on the same path over and over and over, at first it can be grass, and the more you walk on it, then grooves form. Well, the Lord showed me that grooves just form by you responding and reacting that fast and just going off with your mouth. So there were grooves formed. So it was a well-worn path. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to plan it. It was like, what happened? Oh my, we just said all that, didn't we? Right? And so the Lord said, this is what you have to do. The beginning part is just the most challenge. The beginning part is the most rigorous part because the beginning is when you just want to pave a new path of responding differently. At first, on the new path, that path, the grass is high and the grass is low on the path you've been walking on. To pave the new path, the more you start on the new path of breathing before you speak, thinking before you speak, asking, is there another way I could communicate this in love? Do I have to say it right now, or could I think about it and put my thoughts together? And the more you start on this path, the grass gets lower and lower, lower and lower, and the grass on the old path that was so familiar gets higher and less easy to walk that path.
Yeah.
And so I realized, like, God would just say, keep going, Tavia, and keep trying. You got to make this path now your default path. Instead of the angry, I'll just tell you off and say anything that comes to my brain path. Right? And so I did the rigorous work at that time to make a gentle path.
That's good.
Make a gentle path.
That's
And so for anybody who's out there like I'm trying to bite my tongue, you probably feel like you bit your tongue off. All those things, what do? I just want to encourage you that I understand that your default is what you've been doing. Just give yourself some grace, but the rigorous space to pave the new path, and it will get easier. Somebody said my issue is when I can't see. When I give myself time to think about it, my silence just feels thick. But that's tied more so to my relationship with my voice. I just hush, friend. LOL, and that ain't working. Yes, that also may not be effective depending on how you process. Because sometimes we may be quiet, and that means we just don't say anything. So I like to teach people how to have what I call sweaty conversations. When you have a sweaty conversation, you are understanding that you and the other person have a common goal. So, say for example, if I wanted to have what I call a sweaty conversation, and I don't mean physical activity sweaty, I mean
Heated fellowship.
it's not heated. It's sweaty because it may make your underarms sweat because you're about to have a courageous conversation. It feels heated for you. He's so silly. Okay, so a sweaty conversation is when you share with somebody that you would like to have a conversation with them about something. And when you have this conversation, you want to have scheduled time to have the conversation. Before you have the conversation, you want to visualize the conversation going well. If you have anybody about to have a conversation with somebody and you already thought, and they're gonna say this, and then I'm gonna say this, and they're gonna say this, and then I'm gonna say this, that is not good. Not that way. You want to visualize the conversation going well. Put that energy in the atmosphere. So imagine that you said, when this happens, I feel I would love it if we could blank. Okay. Also, in the way we communicate it. When you have the sweaty conversations, one of the key things is visualize beforehand how you would love for it to go for you and for them. How are you going to be? How are they going to be?
Yeah.
The second thing that you want to do is you want to start with gratitude. I'm so grateful that blank. The third thing that you want to do is go to the place of your vision. You know what, Derek? I envision us being the type of couple that sometimes, we're two different people, and there's certain things that may happen that you may do or that I may do that may not be our preference. And my vision for us is that we can communicate that because we both really want to love each other and have the best relationship because we desire to be together. And so then I say, so is it okay if I share one thing that I would love for us to update and how we're doing things? Now, one of the things that I've learned to teach people and to do myself is instead of saying what you don't want, just ask for what you do want.
That's good.
Like people can be like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like this. Just ask. You're not making a request. You're complaining. What is the request? What are you asking for? So this is the other day I just said, babe, could you wait for me inside the house before it's time to go? And he was
Look,
like,
when I got them keys, I'm first thing smoking, so I'm in the car, and she would be in the house. Okay, I'll let you tell her. I'll let you.
go for it.
But um, the roles were reversed, and I was still getting ready, and she was done. And I thought she would leave like I leave. In the past, I would have left, and she stayed in the room and just being in the room, her presence and everything. And I was like, you just gonna stay here? She said, yes. And I would love if you were to stay here when I'm getting ready as well. And I was like, oh, okay, that's news to me. But I would say another multiplier inside of that.
Ashley said her friend wasn't trying to get left.
Yeah. So in line with the question that Ashley asked about it being totally foreign.
And y'all, please share this live. Like, let's, just this might bless somebody's life. So feel free to hit share, please.
Yeah, because we up. It's 9 o'clock. We talking to the people.
We almost done.
Yeah.
If you have a question, feel free to drop it in the chat. And Ashley, we're gonna come to yours too.
So to Ashley's question,
Thank you, Dawn.
another extreme multiplier has been humility. Um, that allowed me to engage those sweaty conversations Realizing that I don't always have the answers, nor do I have to have all the answers. A lot of men won't ever say it, but there are not a lot of spaces for a man to be vulnerable. And vulnerability looks like, I don't know. I don't know how am I know. And I don't know. I don't know. Look, I'm trying. That's what it looks like. But a lot of times we're going to stuff that. In the past, guys stuff that stuff. And they don't speak up on it. And then when it does come up, it doesn't come out like humility. So, for instance, my wife is my coach. I love that. I'm gonna be there on Saturday. On tomorrow, I'm gonna be getting coached with the rest of y'all because she has a innate ability to take the complex and make it so like provide a synthesis that now you're just like, I can apply that literally every single day. Something that I thought was so metaphysical and so far out of my realm that I had to go to school for 18 more years to learn what she's talking about. But she has a way of being able to make it really, really concise and really, really practical and give you exercises and action steps to take towards moving in that direction. So it's not just like lip speak and then survive, good luck, work for me. It's like, no, this is how you do this next step, and this is how you do this next step. So if you do have the opportunity, or if you can cancel something to be at the master class tomorrow, I would do that. I would do that. I definitely would because it's not an accident that you're on here tonight. It's not an accident that I'm up talking to y'all with her tonight. So take it as providence. Take it as an answer to prayer, because that's oftentimes what it is. The answer comes, but we don't always listen. So the invite to tomorrow's session, and she's going to provide the link and everything for that. But just make sure that you get there because it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. If you want to come to the masterclass tomorrow, it's at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And when we hop off the live, the link is in all of my bios, like all of my bios everywhere. But it's just Tavia, what is it? TaviaJax.com, Dare to Dream. The link is in my bio. So I'll get you guys the link. But it's in my bio. If you want to come to the masterclass. Or after this, you could just DM me link and I'll shoot you the link. Okay, so thank you for sharing that, Derek. I appreciate you sharing those things. Can you drive that? So we just wanted to come on today and just empower you guys. We wanted to let you know that wherever you are in your journey, even if you're single, even if you're dating, even if you're engaged, even if you're married, one, there are so many skills and shifts that we can make that empower us. Thank you, Sonia, for dropping it in. I think that is Facebook, but it's daredream.taviajax.com, but do the HTTPS, dare to dream dot dare to dream.taviajax.com. But we just wanted to empower y'all and let y'all know that we're here, that we see you, and that we believe in you and believe in the greatness inside of you. If you are looking to be married, or if you're an entrepreneur, whether that be single or married or engaged, or just building alongside your friends. Yeah. Bosses don't boss alone, as my friend Bria says, who is my sales strategist. And so I would encourage you to be around other people that are in the environment. For sure. When you're around other people that get this, they get it. Like you vibrate at the same frequency and you just get it. So we just wanted to come on, and my sweet, sweet husband last night, sweet. Last night I was like, babe, I don't think couples and people that are dating know that they can come to stuff I'm doing, and that I even encourage it. Like my coaching clients, I tell them all, like they're married, I'm like, hey, you just signed up for coaching. Do you want your husband to come in? I'm going to give him a massive discount, like almost nothing. Like you guys can pretty much coach 2 for 1. Yeah. But the results, they're so incredible. They're so incredible. So we just wanted to come on and hop on today and just pour into you all. about multiplication, about money, about marriage, about ways you can grow, about how to become the woman that you would love to be, the man that you would love to be, and just anything that may help empower you today. So I hope that it blessed you. If it did, feel free to drop something in the chat. Let us know like what resonated with you the most. Thank y'all for giving us conversation. Thank you for messaging us. Thank you for typing stuff in the chat. Thank you for asking questions and sharing your thoughts. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Sonia, for dropping that link in the chat.
Pray us out, Elder.
Uh-oh. Now he done volunteered me to pray on mine. Glory. Y'all come get him.
He's in the room.
It's bedtime.
He's in the room.
Okay, so I will pray. Heavenly Father, we honor you and we bless your name. God, thank you for every person that's on this live. Thank you for every person that's watching this replay. I thank you for every person that is single, every person that is married, every person that is dating. I thank you for wherever on the spectrum that they are right now, that they first and foremost know that they are loved by you and that they are precious in your sight, Father. Lord, I pray that you would continue to ignite, strengthen, and build the dream in them. I pray, Lord God, for our married couples, Lord, that you help them to recognize their responsibility to you and to each other, and even to grow together and to not become stagnant or not to allow things to become so common that they're not honoring in a way that they should. Father, I pray that where people used to be too busy or think that they were too busy to spend time towards their dream or towards their vision or towards spending that time together to do it, that you illuminate that and give them the burning desire to love each other with all their might, to love each other and even differently, to love each other the way they desire to be loved. God, for every one of us, we want to be better. So whether it's our attitude, whether it may be our mouth, like I process, no matter what it is, God, help us to be the best us that we can do. Anything that we want to lay down on the altar and ask you to take it from us today, Lord, take this moment, do whatever your thing is. Just say, God, I'm gonna lay this down today. Can you help me with this? Can you help a sister out? Can you help a brother out? Father, I pray for every husband, every covering, every priest, every fiance. Lord God, that you give them the strength and you help them. Like Derek said, he didn't even have the tools in the toolkit to even know how to do marriage at first. Father, I thank you for wisdom and divine insight for all of us of how to be the best us that we can be, how to be the best women, how to be the best men, how to be the best friends, how to be the best wives, how to be the best husbands. God, give us your divine insight, Lord. And Father, I pray strength and encouragement for everybody that's on this line. Help heal our traumas. Help heal our rejections, God. Help heal where we built walls that are causing us to respond to the people that you've put in our life in a certain way that would really repel them. I pray right now that your will be done in our lives, that you help us to grow financially, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and relationally. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen and amen. Thank you, Lord. Thank y'all so much for joining. Oh, Sonia said thank you guys so much. Sonia D. Ashley said he's in the room. He's in the room. Christina says standing strong as a couple. I love this. Thank you so much, Christina. We appreciate you. She said, and I appreciate you guys. My husband is on the way. Listen, he's on the way. And I don't even have time, but I can show you, key steps to welcome him in faster, like many of my clients have experienced. But yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, and yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We continue to thank God for every one of our singles that you feel whole. Single means whole. That you don't operate from a thought process of feeling that you're deficient, that you're lacking or missing anything. You have everything.
Yes, God.
So I come against even any spirits that try to make you feel like you're missing something and that you're not whole. You are whole. You are designed to be whole. And we thank God for shifting the deficiency or the lack thoughts of I don't have, if only I had, I wish I had, to gratitude. And because of that gratefulness and because of that, it literally welcomes in more of what you do want.
Exactly.
So, Father, we just thank you for giving them. You put the desire in their heart. Now we thank you for manifesting that desire physically and tangibly into their life. Give them the desire of their heart because you put the desire in their heart. We thank you that it is so and that it can be no other way. I want to hear your testimonies, so come back and tell me. I hope to see as many of you can be in the masterclass tomorrow. It's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's virtual. The link's in my bio. I love you guys. And if you're already on my email list, the link is all over your email. It's all over your email. All right. All right. Love y'all. Bye. Thank you, Derek.
Absolutely.